Hey there guys, welcome back to another awesome video, and today we're going to do something very different, and we're going to do something very analytic, like a comparison analysis of two different things, but they have the same concept or premise, but we'll get into it in a quick second. I'm going to basically compare these two different properties. We have ourselves the BananaSplits movie that came out back in 2019 that was done by Sci-Fi, the channel, and we have something that is recently popular, recently new, is a thing called Welcome Home. We'll both address each individual thing and compare the two, but before we compare the two, I'm going to address the concept and the premise and the elephant in the room on why I'm doing this comparison. And that is that there is a big, almost repetitive concept or premise that is used almost often in horror. Besides the slasher types, a lot of horror has something you take that's something cute, something sweet, something innocent, something gentle, something colorful, something bright, all the warm feels, everything that is fluffy, cute, cuddly, adorable, anything with that positive feel that gives you giddiness, a childhood maybe toy or plushie or a puppet, something stuffed, something felted, something plastic, and just comes to life with some sort of sinister, horrific, sadistic twist to its intentions. We've seen that kind of quite a lot. And as much as we love Five Nights at Freddy's, it has kind of almost coined that, and other properties have coined this, like the Child's Play franchise, Annabelle, that franchise, and a lot of things surrounding products. A lot of inanimate objects do this premise quite a bit. So I'm going to specifically direct these two because they have the same thing in common, which is take something cute and you make it something evil, kind of horrific. Whatever word you want to describe these two things, literally, it's just, they have the same ordeal. Ironically enough, both these shows I should say, we'll get more into why I use quotations, but these shows, per se, were both in the 1970s, and their obscurity into pop culture, and now they're kind of given new life. And that's why I'm making this comparison, because they ironically almost not quite the same, but they do have that same ordeal. But the thing is with the BananaSplits, in my opinion, is that it doesn't do this premise justice. But Welcome Home does this premise very much justice, and I'll explain why. So with BananaSplits, it takes that cutesy, innocent premise by taking an obscure show from the Hanna-Barbera era during the 1970s, maybe 1960s. I might be a little off on my information, but I know it was around the 60s to the 70s was the BananaSplits was kind of like a thing. And so it wound up becoming obscurity into pop culture. And then in 2019, Sci-Fi revamped it by basically doing a copycat cookie cutter version of Five Nights at Freddy's. To Sci-Fi's fairness and credit, and to its defense, originally Sci-Fi, or at least Blumhouse, has been trying to make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and now it's been 5 years, maybe 6 years, that we're now getting a Blumhouse Five Nights at Freddy's movie, since it'll be probably coming out either this year or next year. So what has it been, like 6 years, maybe 7 years since this premise, because Blumhouse thought of this idea back in maybe 2017, 2018, and then 2019 they came up with the BananaSplits film, and then it wasn't Blumhouse, but 2 years later, although I do love Willy's Wonderland, and it does this premise 10 times better, and much better, and it has a lot more fun with it, and at least it's a lot more interesting, and you have fucking Nick Cage in your movie, which makes it even more entertaining, even though it doesn't say a damn thing, but it's still cool that he says nothing. You can go check out my review for both of those on this channel here. But anyways, even though I love Willy's Wonderland, and I will say that it's better than the BananaSplits film, it basically does do that Five Nights at Freddy's thing with like some sort of sadistic, satanic thing with possession and animatronics coming to life, something cute like a pizza place, like a Chuck E. Cheese, and it's kind of like twisted on its head. So the Banana Splits fails at it because it's basically just copying and pasting the same beats as other films and other properties have done before. It's been parodied, this premise, the Five Nights at Freddy's premise. It's just kind of been a thing that the Banana Splits just, in my opinion, just doesn't work for me. Now, here's why Welcome Home makes it different. And I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of background with Welcome Home, is it's centered around kind of the same thing. It's not necessarily a TV show, but it's like a video game, or it's being turned into a video game. Something with virtual gaming or reality gaming or something, where it's a neighborhood that the neighborhood is set around like this obscure TV show that was also made in the 70s. I don't think this was an actual show, but the creators make this sound like this was an actual show. And the interesting thing is that the show is, again, faded into obscurity. But the thing with this is that there's no footage of the show, this supposed show, in the story. With the Banana Splits, it is an existing show. This thing, I could easily buy into that this was an actual show. It never aired, supposedly never aired, because the story sounds like this show never aired. There was missing merchandise and footage and scripts and all this crazy stuff behind it. And you know what's making this sound even better? This premise, this cute, innocent premise, kind of turned twisted compared to, say, the Banana Splits, is one huge thing that I keep asking, in a way, is questions. And that is a mystery. This has mystery to it. Yes, this is still being developed and there's still things that are yet to be updated and unraveled. But what's keeping this premise great and this kind of cute, innocent thing turned into something darker is that it's mystery. The mystery works perfect. And I respect this so much for that. It's got mystery to it because you don't know exactly your answers per se. You can interpret what's going on, and there's a bit of a mystery. And even with Five Nights at Freddy's, it kind of had that mystery before it revealed that I'm not too keen and don't know a lot about Five Nights at Freddy's lore, but I think the owner of the restaurant became possessed one of the animatronics, so there was a mystery of why the creator left, why he died, what happened exactly, where's the body, and all this other jazz. At least before it established the possession of him being the one animatronic, there was mystery. This show or this game has a mystery involved, because there's obscurity of why did this get taken off of television? Why do people remember this show, but yet there's no existence of this show? And even the fictional world itself of this seems like it's got a mystery to it. A lot of the residents are missing, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding our main character, Wally, and literally one of the neighbors is his house called home, and it's the ninth neighbor per se, and that there's a mystery behind the house. What happens, I guess, kind of like after hours, after dark? What goes on inside the house? What's wrong with Wally? Is he evil? Is he just a victim? There's a lot underneath the surface that we don't know, and that's what makes this premise, and that's what makes this thing interesting. Is I could easily have said that, oh, it's just another cutesy, innocent thing turning twisted, but what is really a good hook on why I think this works, and I think a lot of people think works, is its mystery. And there's a lot that could happen in this premise that feels fresh. It feels original. It feels natural. It feels almost not necessarily genuine, but it feels like just a nice flow. And it's different because it's kind of trying to do at least it obviously, you can tell where the inspiration is going to, because it's obviously trying to aim towards puppets. Puppets is different compared to, say, animatronics or dolls and toys. At least puppets are a little bit different. And so there are some things you can do with puppets, number one. And number two, it's obviously trying to go for that edge, Sesame Street, twisted version a little. So that's what I think is making this premise better than, say, the BananaSplits. And this is probably the last time I'll ever bring up this movie. And I've said my thoughts about this film, but I can't stand it. I really can't. It's just so cookie cutter. And even the premise is cookie cutter. At least there's life in this. There's energy in this. There's something here that can be intriguing. And even if the execution falls flat, the anticipation is real. And I know, and I've seen so far, so many people obsessed with this. More than I am. And I'm not really obsessed. I'm just intrigued. I'm invested. I can be invested. And I think it's kind of due to what's making me invested, intrigued about this in a way, in a small sense, is that Bella has shown me stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's, has shown me those types of like indoor theme park, like innocent, cute, sort of twisted tales. And I know there's that one thing I can't think of off the top of my head, but the merchandise and the image right here, that character you see a lot often, that and many other things that I've seen that she showed me, or we have both seen together, that there is at least a hook. It's just a matter of reeling people in. And I think this premise has people reeling in. So what do you guys think of this? This might have not made any sense to you guys. For any of you regular viewers that might be confused, this was something I just wanted to talk about because I thought this was very intriguing and I just wanted to make this comparison. But what do you guys think? Whether this is your interest or not, what are you guys' thoughts on what I just mentioned? Do you maybe agree? Do you disagree? If you're fans of this or you're not fans of this, you don't have to be. I'm not really a diehard fan. I just am intrigued by this and I am at least curious. So let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, every week. Make sure you ring that bell. I do new videos every week. Share the video with family and friends, all that good stuff and more. Leave any suggestions in the comments. You name it, I'll look into it as best as possible. I have also other stuff scheduled for the rest of the month of April. I have like some shorts, some other videos I had made back in March. You guys will see now in this month. And we'll also do some other things, like I'm going to probably catch up on those streams and catch up on a few other videos I'm going to do. You'll see later on. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.